Just when Fei Hong had the Dragon King Marsha cornered, his master plan goes completely off the rails. The laws of reality are shattered as a third party enters the fight, and the secrets behind the strongest warriors are finally revealed. Fei Hong's private dimension is violently torn open by the Sea Dragon, creating an escape route for Marcia. But just as he's about to flee, the game changes again. An entity of unimaginable power emerges, possessing the body of Fei Hong's chimera companion. In a single devastating attack, the Sea Dragon is instantly killed, and both Dragon Kings Fei Hong and Marcia are critically wounded. Narrator. This new being is known only as the Snake. He was the true power hiding inside the chimera all along. With a final devastating blow, he shatters the dimensional barrier completely, throwing both Fei Hong and Marcia back into the real world. Fei Hong is furious. He was just seconds away from finishing Marcia for good. With the sun now rising, the mortally wounded Sea Dragon uses his last breath to give Kamui one final order. Protect Marcia at all costs. The battle erupts. A soldier lands a clean hit, decapitating the Sea Dragon. But the fight is far from over. Marcia, though injured, is still a king. A single glare from him causes a soldier's body to explode into gore. The eyeglass-wearing warrior finds an opening and plunges her sword into his head, causing his magic to erupt in a berserk, uncontrolled storm. Meanwhile, the duel in the heavens continues. Ragna and Kamui are moving at speeds that defy comprehension. Kamui is shocked. Though his speed and his weapon are superior, he is being completely overwhelmed by Ragna's seemingly infinite, raw power. He knows that Ragna's next attack, the Beast Dragon Flash, will be the end of him. He has no way to counter it. To understand this power, we have to look into Kamui's past. Years ago, he killed the apprentice of the legendary Claw King and stole his magic sword. Instead of running, Kamui challenged the Claw King herself. But the fight was impossible. No matter how fast he attacked, her slower blade always struck him first. Narrator. The Claw. King explained her cheat-like ability. Anyone who tries to cut me will, without exception, be cut by me. It's not a technique. It's an absolute rule of her existence. Impressed by his talent, she let him keep the sword, telling him that to grow stronger, he needed to fight opponents completely different from himself. She revealed that even she had an enemy she couldn't kill, proving the world was far bigger than he imagined. It is this lesson that allows Kamui to finally evolve. His body becomes one with his sword, a living weapon of lightning. The tables turn in an instant. Ragna is now the one being completely overwhelmed, and in a flash of divine speed, Kamui decapitates him. Narrator. As Ragna falls, we get a quick cut to Fei Hong, who is cursing his terrible luck. His slime companion is critically weak and needs to eat a dragon to recover. The only food nearby is one of the twin maids. Without hesitation, Fei Hong orders the slime, "Go on, eat," but the fight isn't over. Ragna's headless body, acting on pure instinct, successfully unleashes the Beast Dragon God technique. His head flies back onto his neck, reattaching instantly. He looks at the stunned Kamui and tells him, "Your dream of killing the Dragon God will never happen, because you die here." As a wounded Marcia struggles towards the victorious Kamui, we dive into one last memory, the day the two of them met. Marsha was once a saintess named Carla, one of many identical healers in the Sun cult. One day, their base was attacked by a lone berserker, a young Kamui. Narrator. Kamui mocked Carla, calling the saintesses replaceable ants with no will of their own. He then revealed his own painful past. His mother died giving birth to him, cursing him with a debt he could never repay. Because of this, he swore to live by his own strength, never owing anything to anyone. His words sparked something in Carla. For the first time in his life, surrounded by people who saw him as a tool, he felt genuine anger. He decided to assert his own will. Kamui told him to get lost, but Carla refused. When Kamui attacked him with lightning, Carla used a time reversal magic to heal himself instantly, declaring, "I will choose who I save." Narrator: that was the day everything changed. Moved by this ant who suddenly showed the will of a king, Kamui made a new vow: to become the light in Carla's life. And now, in the present, that same boy stands ready to die for him. The bond between a dragon king and his lightning god is absolute, but they now face a monster who simply refuses to die. A group of ordinary hunters are about to attempt the impossible: to hunt a high-order dragon. This suicidal mission has been made possible by the twisted machinations of the being known as Crimson. Through a combination of brainwashing and training, he has forged these men into a weapon, erasing their fear and replacing it with a burning desire for vengeance. As they face the furious Windwing dragon, they are no longer afraid. They are ready to kill. The Windwing dragon, enraged by Crimson's insults to its king, has lost all reason. It chases them at full speed, ignoring the fact that the rising sun will weaken its power. At this velocity, a simple car cannot escape its tornado. Even with the sunlight weakening it, a third-rank high-order dragon's regenerative abilities are so powerful that it can easily out-heal the damage. But Crimson has a plan. The beastmen open fire with their machine guns, and the tornado itself begins to freeze. It's a common misconception that silver aura freezes a dragon's blood. In reality, it freezes the magic within the blood. Since the tornado is controlled by magic, it too is vulnerable. The dragon scoffs, assuming these are specially made silver bullets. But Crimson is one step ahead. These are just normal lead bullets enchanted with Ragna's powerful silver aura. The effect is minimal, only freezing the surface of the tornado. As the dragon dismisses the attack, Crimson springs his real trap. The other beastmen open fire, this time with actual silver bullets, also enchanted by Ragna. The effect is immediate and devastating. The enchanted silver tears through the magical storm, destabilizing the dragon's connection to the wind. In a fit of rage, it tries to charge, but its own frozen tornado works against it, throwing its body out of the storm's center. Disoriented and confused, it's hit by a final, fatal blow. A silver-infused projectile pierces its heart, cutting off the flow of magic to its body. As it falls, helpless, Crimson finishes the job, ramming it with his car while the beastmen riddle its body with bullets. Crimson analyzes the battle. The dragon should have been unbeatable. If it had transformed into its true dragon form from the start, it could have controlled 8 tornadoes at once, rendering his plan useless. But its arrogance, its pride, and its inability to believe that mere humans would dare to hunt it became its fatal flaw. This, Crimson notes, is the third great weakness of the high-order dragons, after sunlight and silver aura. But the true key to this victory was Ragna. Days before this hunt, 5 days after the initial dragon disaster, the king of the now-fallen kingdom receives a report. The city of Peel has been annihilated by a storm of lightning, followed by an army of mid-tier dragons. 20 years ago, a dragon had saved Peel from an enemy invasion with that same lightning. The king cannot understand why their silent protector has suddenly turned on them. He could never imagine the absurd reason. A single cake shop in Peel was robbed and went out of business, angering a god. Confident that the capital's barrier can repel any attack, the king is unprepared for what happens next. The sky fills with white feathers, and a being that looks like an angel descends upon the palace. It is the first king of the winged bloodline, Medea. The king panics, assuming the barrier has failed. But Medea explains that the barrier, which absorbs sunlight during the day to repel dragons at night, is working perfectly. In fact, its radiant energy is causing him great discomfort. This is the first time in recorded history that Medea has made a public appearance, and he has done so for one reason: to speak with the king. To prevent mass panic, he has frozen the entire capital in time. He apologizes to the king. He presents the severed head of the dragon who destroyed Peel, explaining that the attack was not his intention. The subordinate acted on its own, and as its master, he has punished it and come to offer his sincerest apologies. The king is completely disarmed. This Dragon King, with its perfect etiquette, gentle demeanor, and compassionate expression, seems more noble than any human. For a moment, he considers attacking, but dismisses the thought. Even if he succeeded, the dragon race would surely retaliate and destroy his entire country. He chooses to accept the apology. And then, Medea speaks the most terrifying words the king has ever heard. "I had so wished," he says with a sad smile, "that the people of Peel could have simply passed away peacefully without having to feel the fear of death." The king is stunned. "But you just said you didn't intend to attack." Medea nods. "That is true, but your country must still be destroyed. That is the will of God." He explains that because his subordinate acted rashly, the element of surprise is gone, and many citizens have fled to other nations. To prevent any more from escaping their fate, he has already ordered attacks on all the border towns. No one will escape. In a final, desperate act, the king tries to use the barrier as a weapon, but one of Medea's guards intercepts, mortally wounding him. Medea, disapproving of such cruelty, uses his time magic to rewind the king's body to a state before the injury, and once again apologizes for his subordinate's interference. The king, completely broken, asks the one question that remains. Why? Why would God want to destroy their country? Medea does not answer. God's will is absolute, but, he offers, he can grant the people a death free from pain and suffering. If the king truly cares for his people, he will cooperate.